Good evening. This is CTV News for Tuesday, August 28th. I'm Patricia Villone.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger. Thank you for joining us. We begin the newscast in Mitchellville, where funeral services were held today for a local hero. Thousands of mourners gather to say goodbye to a fallen Prince George's police officer killed in the line of duty last Monday. CTV's Sonia Srivastava is standing by at the church in Mitchellville with more.
Well, at 23, Officer Morris is one of the youngest members of this police department, and some of the officers that I've spoken with say that his death is a reminder that every day that you get up and put on this uniform, the danger is always there. A somber day as a community lays one of its finest to rest. The casket of 23-year-old police officer Adrian Morris was draped in an American flag as bagpipes played and members of his second family, the police fraternity, came from around the region to pay its respects.
To some, he was just a face that you saw around the station. He was a name that you might have saw on the roster, 3 initials, AAM. To others, he was just the ID number 3510. But to me, he was a lot more than that. He was my friend. He was my brother, and I loved him.
Morris was killed 1 week ago after his police cruiser lost control on Interstate 95 while pursuing a vehicle that matched the description of a car involved in a theft. Morris was ejected and died at the hospital.
Adrian Morris was more than a police officer to me. He was more. He was more than an explorer to me. He was my little brother. I remember when I first met him, Corporal Albright introduced me to him. They said, "Have you seen Ant?" I said, "The little guy?" They were like, "Yeah." He was like, he's real athletic, he's real fast.
Even though Morris's journey on this earth was short, it was clear he touched many people. In 2010, he was assigned to the District 6 station in Beltsville. Today, he was posthumously promoted to the rank of police officer first class.
We are all family, even though our paths may never cross throughout an entire career. We all know that when the call goes out, our brothers and sisters are on their way. This is a fraternity, and upon entering it, we become family.
I think of your son, and I think of my son, and I think of the many children out there in whose lives he's touched.
As his family grieves, they take comfort in knowing the day brought out the best in mankind, brothers standing side by side, ready to send Morris home. Now from here, Officer Morris's casket will be taken to the Lake Mount Memorial Park Cemetery, where he will be buried later in Davidsonville. In Mitchellville, I'm Sonia Srivastava for CTV News.
Caring, dedicated, funny are just some of the words used to describe Adrian Morris over and over again today by family and friends as they remember the young officer. Denise Douglas spoke with several people who knew him well, and she gives us a closer look at who he was.
There were so many kind words in the service inside for Officer Adrian Morris. This is truly a sad day for those who knew him and even those who didn't say that his death touched them.
Adrian Morris was not only a dedicated police officer, he was a good son, brother, and friend.
Yes, it is a painful experience to lose one so young and so full of promises.
His uncle Linval Crosdale read a prepared statement from the family after the funeral service at Woodstream Church. Morris was one of 3 children. From an early age, he wanted to be an officer. So it was no surprise when he enrolled in the Police Explorer program as a teen. Then he made his family proud when he actually became an officer.
He had soundness of thought, an inner peace that resonated with everyone that he met, and ready hand to help.
It's very sad. I mean, it's hard to believe.
Vina Mir remembers his passion for life. The former girlfriend says they maintained a friendship even after they stopped dating. She will never forget his generosity.
he supported himself. So it's not like he was, you know, rich or anything like that, and he just gave to people. You know, if a friend's upset, he'll drive 2 hours to comfort them. Like, you know, he'd do that for me.
And it is those good memories that she and others focus on as they say their final goodbyes to this beloved son, brother, and friend, who they also now call their fallen hero. As you can see behind me, everyone is getting ready for the procession to the cemetery. Officer Morris is survived by his mother, father, sister, brother, and numerous other family members. I'm Denise Douglas, CTV News.
And while the men in blue mourn the loss of one of their own, AAA says it's a tragedy that could have been avoided. During the last 3 decades, more than 42% of officers killed in automobile crashes were unbelted at the time of the incident. Although Prince George's police require all officers to wear seatbelts while driving, Adrian Morris was not wearing one at the time of the crash, according to police reports. The National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund says 470 officers lost their lives in traffic crashes between 2002 and 2011. Well, a Prince George's policeman accidentally shoots himself in the leg while trying to stop a rabid fox. The incident happened about 5 p.m. in Fort Washington shortly after a woman reported being bitten in 2 places by the fox. According to a police spokesman, 3 officers responded to the home. One of the officers tripped over a set of steps while trying to shoot the animal and struck himself in the process. Both the woman and the officer were treated for their wounds at a local hospital. As of last night, the officer was said to be in serious condition. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Villone.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger.